Physicians, internal medicine physicians, are specialists who apply scientific knowledge and clinical expertise to the diagnosis, treatment, and compassionate cure of adults across the spectrum from health to complex illness. It is also interesting to note that internists are sometimes referred to as the doctor's doctor because they are often called upon to act as consultants to other physicians to help solve puzzling diagnostic problems. Today, we welcome one such individual who is also a national of St. Kitts and Nevis, but who resides in Florida. He is Dr. Glenville Morton. And Doctor, we welcome you to Good Morning SKN's Connections.
Good morning, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, so we're going to get this conversation started a little differently than we planned, because I noticed that on your lab coat there are some wings, and those wings represent something that you should be very proud of. So why don't you tell us about that?
So I am an internal medicine physician. I'm an internal medicine physician in the United States Air Force. I've been serving for the last 19 years. Been deployed to many different locations. At home station, I take care of anyone from 18 to 108 who needs care for a variety of diseases, pathology. I work in the inpatient ICU and also on the wards and also in the clinic.
You do a lot, Doc. You do a lot. So why did you decide to study medicine?
So medicine came from the love of anatomy and the love of physiology. Anatomy is the way the body is in terms structurally, and physiology is the way the body works. I always say that success is equal to preparation plus opportunity. You need to be prepared, and also you have to have the opportunities. And so both of those two things played out very well. I have a strong faith in God, and I think that along my pathway, He coordinated and directed folks to enter my life in different seasons in order to take me from where I was to the way to where I am.
I love it, and to me, in that statement, the wings have a different meaning as well. You're elevating, and you're ensuring that you take care of others as well. Speaking of those people that you take care of, you mentioned that you took care of pilots as well. The pilots are part of the Air Force. Is that correct?
That's correct. So the pilots have to be in top shape in order to fly these multi-million hyperdynamic jets and helicopters across the world. And so part of our job is to ensure that they're in the top shape in order to perform that duty.
All right, that's great. All right, so some internists subspecialize, we know, in a particular area. I heard you mention pathology. I'm not sure if that was what you specialized in. Did you specialize in that in any other area of medicine?
So as a general internist, we do not specialize in any particular area. There are branches that you can branch off. You can branch off into cardiology, pathology, pulmonology, gastroenterology. So all those are branches outside of internal medicine. As a general internist, we are sort of like the Swiss Army knife. We can take care of multi-dynamic patients, patients with different clinical scenarios coming in. And sometimes we do have to refer to the specialist, but as a general internist, that's our trade.
So, Dr. Morton, we know that the Swiss Army knife has many parts, and I know that studying medicine is normally about several years or more. So can you let us know how many years you studied medicine for, and what was the most challenging part of medicine for you?
So for medicine, you first start out, you do your regular high school years, and then right after high school, you do 4 years of undergraduate. And then after 4 years of undergraduate, then you do 4 years of medical school. And then after medical school, you would do your internship year and then a residency. Sometimes even after the residency, which can take 3 to 4 years, you can do a fellowship. And so that's another 2 or 3 more years. So if you add them up, they do add up to a lot. The trick is not to think about it as 15 years on your life, because that's what it is. But take it in stages. And if you take it in stages, then it pays dividends down the road. You just take it one season at a time, and before long, you'll get there.
And what was your most challenging part? Did you have a challenging part in your conquest to become a medical doctor?
Oh, yes. Some interesting people I came across. I was giving honor to God and Jesus Christ and the Holy Ghost for keeping me and guiding me. My biggest brother, my oldest brother, Terrence, he has been a master influence on my life. And throughout my high school years, he was the one that I was keeping my eyes on. It's always good to have someone in front of you. There was a teacher at my high school in Charlotte, Mali, in St. Thomas, Howard Gums. And he was one of my influential persons. He taught me advanced biology. He was a Kittian by birth, representing there in St. Thomas. And then another one in the undergraduate, Glenville for organic chemistry. That he was a mentor to me and helped me move along the hurdles of math and science in the undergraduate ways. In terms of the difficulty, the most difficult struggle was doing my graduate in medical school. That required a lot of sacrifice, meaning that you had to put the time in order to get the work done. And being prepared is one thing, but having perseverance and whether you have struggles or not, moving forward and staying the course, that's what got you through medical school, because the work is vast, because there's so many topics that you have to cover and so many diseases that you have to know. It was a challenge to get through medical school.
You made it, so congratulations.
Again, thankfully you have, and we're having this discussion. We're talking about the challenges, as you just mentioned. Let's talk about medical challenges now. Obviously, medicine can be a puzzling field. You're in the field of, you're an internist, so there are even more puzzles, I imagine, there as well. What can you tell us about any of the medical puzzles that you have hopefully been able to solve?
So in terms of solving puzzles, on a day-to-day basis, we are almost like investigators, because someone comes in and there's a scene of a crime, and then you have to go and figure out what happened and how can you change the scenario of what's happening. So on a daily basis, we do investigative work in order to figure out what the disease process is and how can we reverse it. Just as we are in the tail end of a pandemic, COVID-19, we've had our struggles in terms of trying to find out what this virus is, what's the deleterious effects of it, what medications can we introduce to counteract it and to get the body back in sync. So microcosm medicine is always progressive, it's always challenging, and there's always something to go for in terms of finding out more.
I know you look forward to your next medical challenge. Can you speak to that? What would be a next medical challenge for you then?
So in terms of next medical challenge, I think it's just a phase, because I am close to retiring from the United States Air Force, and then I have to transition. Yes, okay. Yes, I've been doing this for a while.
Oh, so, okay.
Yes, but it has been a pleasure to serve in the United States Air Force and to take care of our wonderful men. That includes men and women. But yeah, getting to that phase where I'm going to be able to transition, and hopefully a transition to doing some things in the community that that's still passionate to. Definitely enjoy making sure that the next generation have a platform and the next generation boost it up. I appreciate the network for inviting me. Because letting the next generation that it is possible to chase your dreams and to make your dreams a reality, but to succeed in the reality.
Well, Doctor, I hope that you appreciate my Top Gun reference, because I'm certain that when you leave the Air Force, to me, you'll be Dr. Maverick. That's what I'm going to call you, Dr. Maverick. All right, so your job, obviously, is a critical one, and we know that it can be high stress as well, but we want to focus on what you do for relaxation to balance things out.
Okay, so for balance things out, you definitely have to be a whole person as being a physician. You can't all be work. You have to have some downtime to de-stress, because I tell you, at the height of the COVID, when you lose 7 patients in 1 week, it does put a toll on your mind, your body, and even your spirit. And so having something to offset that definitely pays dividends. Family, thank God for my wife, Corenza, and my 3 lovely kids. My roots in St. Kitts. I have still relatives in St. Kitts, Nevis, the Mortons, the Taylor, and the Wilkerson. Actually, Cameron is my cousin, a distant cousin. My dad keeps on reminding me of who he is. I've never met him, but one of these days I would like to. Yeah, just having family time and being able to love on those who are still here. My mom, Irma Morton, all my friends up at St. Johnson Village and Buckley's Estate. Just staying connected with those that you love, and those in St. Thomas, our churches, Antioch Baptist and Ebenezer in St. Thomas. Just having the ability to have a multi-dynamic lifestyle where you have friends and families who can sort of calm down those days where it's rough. And to add another element to what we do as military medicine, we do have the ability, the opportunities to go into battle medicine, which is a trauma medicine. It's a little bit different from what we see on a day-to-day, because here we're dealing with explosions and guns and bombs, and you have to have a strong desire to take care of those ones who are putting their lives on the line.
Absolutely, and we do appreciate your work, so thank you again for that.
You mentioned family before. How do you manage to balance your family life with your work life?
It's difficult. Sometimes you have to give and take. There are certain times where you have to be there for the family, and then there's some times where you are needed at the workplace, and you have to balance. It's a balancing act. But you sort of develop a rhythm as you grow in your experience. It's possible. You do not want to neglect either, but you have to balance it out.
Well, Doctor, we're almost out of time here, but I do have to say I have one request of you, and that is when you finally do meet your distant cousin, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, how cool would it be if you take a picture and you post it for us, or even better, you come to the studio if you happen to be in St. Kitts and Nevis or wherever you are via Zoom, and we have a follow-up to this interview, and we call it Doctors. Doctor Relatives or something like that. Whatever. I'll let you pick the name since you might be more creative than I am. But seriously, that would be a whole lot of fun.
That sounds beautiful.
You're so gracious as well, Doctor. Appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. It's awesome the work that you do. Thank you for the insight that you provided as well.
Absolutely, and thank you guys for doing this. Sometimes it's hard for us who are away to reach back and touch the next generation that's come up. And I think that the job that you are doing is paving roads, letting the others see that there are different things that are possible, and if they continue to strive for them, that they can obtain them. So having that person in front of you, or even an image of someone who's been where you were and has gone through and come out on the other side, it gives inspiration. So thank you for what you do.